The engine just went quiet. 10,000 feet over the Amazon, and the only sound left is the wind, screaming through a hole where the propeller used to be. This is you, broke and in debt to the wrong people, which is the exact reason you climbed into a stranger's plane over the largest jungle on Earth. The pilot is shouting a word you don't understand. The canopy is coming up like a green ocean. Nobody knows you're here. Nobody is coming. Survive 21 days. Or don't. Rewind 6 hours. This is also you, before. A cargo run off a dirt airstrip. No manifest, no questions. $15,000 in cash to ride along and hand off one sealed crate across the border. Enough to make the debt vanish. Enough to stop looking over your shoulder. They swore the pilot had flown this 100 times. They forgot to mention the storm. You come to hanging upside down in your belt, rain hammering the wreck. The pilot isn't shouting anymore. You drop into mud that swallows your boots, and behind you the jungle closes over the plane like water over a stone. No signal, no trail, no idea which way is out. The crate you nearly died for is back in that fuselage, and out here it's worth exactly as much as the mud. Welcome to the Amazon. It has been waiting a long time for someone like you. Here's what you fell into. 2.5 million square miles of rainforest across 9 countries, big enough to swallow whole nations without noticing. 1 in every 10 species alive on Earth lives in here. A single tree can hold more kinds of ant than the whole of the British Isles. And nearly every living thing you can see has spent 1 million years perfecting one skill, killing whatever tries to eat it. Starting today, that's you. You're scanning the shadows for jaguars. Wrong threat. The deadliest animal in this whole jungle weighs less than a raindrop, and one just landed on your neck. The mosquito. Malaria, dengue, yellow fever. It has killed more human beings than every predator in here combined, 1,000 times over. The viper coiled by your boot could drop you in an hour, but it's the bite you never feel that starts a clock you can't see. You slap your neck. Too late. You've already been bitten 12 times. Rule 1, the jungle doesn't kill you with fangs. It kills you with itself. Under this canopy, you can't see the sun. No sun, no direction, and you walk a slow, proud circle and die 200 yards from where you began. People have. So you need 3 things in order: water that won't kill you, a way to be found, and a reason to keep standing up. Right now, you have none of them. You do the one smart thing you know: go downhill. Water runs down, people live on water. Find a stream, follow it to a river, follow the river to a boat. By dusk you hear it, a low endless growl through the trees, and fall out onto the bank of a wide river, fast and brown as coffee. First good news in 6 hours. It's also where everything in the jungle comes to drink, and to hunt. Night doesn't fall in the Amazon, it drops like a lid. One moment you can see, the next you're blind in a dark so total it has weight. And the noise. The whole jungle wakes up screaming. Insects like power lines, frogs like alarms, and under it all something big, breathing, moving. You get a fire lit on the 4th try, hands shaking. Just past the light, low to the ground, 2 flat amber eyes catch the flame. And hold. They don't blink. A jaguar. Pound for pound, the strongest bite of any cat alive, built to punch through a skull in one clean stroke. It has been tracking your smell for an hour, and now it's deciding. Everything in you says run. Running is how you die. You'd make it 4 steps. So you do the opposite. You stand up tall, throw both arms wide, and roar back at it like something with nothing left to lose. Because you are. The amber eyes hold one endless second and slide back into the black. You don't sleep, obviously. You sit in a ring of firelight running the math on your life choices, which out here is a very short sum. Dawn comes grey and steaming. You're alive. Then you peel off a boot, and your foot has started to rot. White, wrinkled, sloughing, trench foot. 16 hours wet, and the jungle is already eating you from the boots up. It doesn't need the jaguar. It's more patient than that. Day 3, and the hunger arrives, not politely. Here's the cruelest joke in here. You're starving to death inside the most fertile place on the planet. Everything is food for something. Almost none of it is food for you. That perfect red berry will stop your heart. That little frog, the color of a candy wrapper, carries enough poison in its skin to kill 10 grown men. Rule 2. In the jungle, beautiful means dead. You eat a fistful of palm grubs instead. They're still moving. You don't look down. You have to drink, or the heat takes you by dark. But that river is a broth of everything that's died upstream. Drink it raw, and the sickness pours the water right back out of you until there's nothing left. So you learn. Settle the mud out in a curl of bark, boil it black over the fire, and drink it hot and foul and safe. Small win. Out here, small wins are the only kind there are. It's never the big things that break you, it's the small ones. You brush one low branch, and an ant an inch long drops onto your arm and drives its stinger in. The bullet ant, named by people who'd been shot and said this was worse. The most painful sting on earth, and it does not fade for a full day. 24 hours of fire and sweat and shaking. And still you get up and walk. Downstream, always downstream. Day 6, the rain that never quite stops becomes the rain that means to kill you. A grey solid wall of it, and the friendly brown river you've been trailing begins to rise, a foot every few minutes. Flash flood. It takes your sandbank in under a minute, and then it takes you, off your feet, under, spun through drowned trees in water as warm as a fever. You claw at a branch, miss, catch the next one, and drag yourself up choking as the whole world roars past beneath you. Your fire's gone, your boots are gone, everything but your skin. You come out the far side of that flood a different animal. Barefoot, shaking, half drowned, and a hot swollen lump is rising on your shoulder that you can feel moving. A fly laid an egg under your skin days ago, and the thing inside is alive now and growing. You are, very literally, being eaten while you're still using the body. This is the moment people lie down in the mud and simply decide to stop. You feel it pulling at you, warm and easy as sleep. So your mind does something strange to save you. It gives you company. By day 9, starving and alone, you start talking out loud to someone who isn't there. A voice that answers. A person at your shoulder telling you to get up, take one more step, don't you dare quit here. You know it's the fever, the hunger, the being so alone. You talk to them anyway, because that impossible voice is the only thing still moving your legs. Survival, it turns out, is mostly an argument you win with yourself. The river widens and the water grows residents. A log on the far bank opens one eye, a black caiman, longer than the plane that dropped you here. Something huge rolls under the surface by your shins and is gone. Anaconda maybe, the heaviest snake alive. It could take you and never break rhythm. You freeze. It ignores you. The jungle isn't cruel, that's the part people get wrong. It's just perfectly, completely indifferent to whether you live. The days smear together, 12, 13, 14. Your feet are raw meat. The lump on your shoulder has company now. A cut on your shin has gone hot and red and angry. And out here, a simple infection is a death sentence on a slow fuse. You're maybe 2/3 of the man who got on that plane. You've stopped feeling hungry, which sounds like mercy and is really your body switching off the lights. But you're still walking, downstream, always down. Then on the 15th night, the amber eyes come back. Closer now, the same scarred face, the same patience. And now you're weak, And it knows. No fire left, no fight left. What you have is a can of bug spray from the wreck, saved for no reason you could ever name, and one working lighter. As it gathers to spring, you raise both, flick the flame, and press the nozzle. A roar of fire erupts in the dark. The jaguar shrieks, twists, and is gone. You just built a flamethrower out of the last two things you owned. Day 18, and you don't get up. You lie on a mud bank in the rain, and you are finally done. Every animal in here was right about you. And in the quiet, the voice, your impossible companion, says one last thing. Not survive, just get to the water's edge so they can see you. So you crawl, on your elbows, the last 30 feet, because a body on a riverbank can be found, and a body in the trees never is. Then you stop, and you wait to end. You wake because something is wrong. A smell. Wood smoke. Real cooking smoke. The smell of a human being who isn't you. And a sound that belongs to no animal you've learned to fear. The flat, patient knock of a wooden paddle against a canoe. You try to shout. What comes out is a cracked whisper. So you lift one rotted mud-black hand off the ground, and you wave. The canoe turns. A wiry old fisherman in a faded red shirt, out on lines he's checked every dawn for 40 years, sees a ghost raise its hand from the mud and drives his boat straight onto the bank. He doesn't ask who you are, or what you did, or what was in the crate. He wraps you in a dry shirt that smells of fish and smoke and another human life, tips warm water past your lips, and says one word, again and again, that needs no translation. Alive, alive, alive. 21 days. And the jungle lets you go. Carries you downriver to a village of 40 souls whose names you'll never fully learn and never forget. They cut the thing out of your shoulder. They wash your ruined feet and wince. They feed you fish and boiled plantain a spoonful at a time. Because a starved body can be killed by a full meal. It takes a doctor 2 days upriver to reach you. He looks at your feet, your eyes, your chart, and says the thing everyone will say for the rest of your life. You should not be alive. Here's the part that keeps you up after. You walked into that jungle for $15,000, a number, a way out. And somewhere back in the green, folded in a crushed fuselage, that money is still sitting there, perfectly safe, perfectly worthless. Not one animal in 2.5 million square miles ever cared what it was worth. Out here, the only currency that ever bought a single thing was your next breath. The most valuable seat you ever took was the one you crawled out of. People will ask how you did it. They'll want the trick, the fire, the flood, the flamethrower in the dark. But it was never the big moments. It was going downhill when you wanted to sit. Boiling filthy water when you wanted to gulp it cold, crawling the last 30 feet when every instinct screamed lie still. The jungle doesn't kill the weak. It kills the ones who stop. You didn't stop. That's the whole secret. That's all it ever is. You'll spend the rest of your life a little too aware of how thin the line is. How fast an engine goes quiet. How little the money meant. How loud a jungle gets the night it decides about you. This is the money seat, where every chair is bought with something and the price is never printed on the ticket. There are other seats in this machine, other lives, other ways to nearly lose it all. Subscribe and take the next one. If you dare sit down.